welcome to a talk about if YouTubers raise prices of games. And here's my buddy Nick. You guys know him from Best Friends Show Gems. It's been a while, man, since you've been on the channel.
It's been a good long while.
Yeah, I was actually going to get this video out earlier today, but since you showed up, man, I said I wanted to include you in this. So basically, here's the thing I have. When I go on Jason's channel, and we talk about games, and I notice it mostly with retro games. When we talk about games, they become sought after because people like what we talk about, and what usually happens is we talk about games, and Jason has like over half a million people watching this channel. So
yeah,
it's crazy. So a lot of these games aren't being sold in stores anymore, and they're being sold by secondhand sellers like on eBay, or whatnot or whatever, and they sell out. People buy all those games up, they want them, they want them immediately, and then what happens is they resurface for a higher price, and a lot of people not a lot of people, but some people blame us for that. And I'm thinking what do you think about it, Nick? I'm thinking dude, why would they blame us if it's the seller's fault for raising them? It's their choice to raise the price for somebody.
It's interesting because in the last couple years, retro gaming has exploded.
Yeah.
And I'm sure anybody who's seeing this knows that too. Mm-hmm. And you have a couple channels that have become really popular talking about games as people have picked up this is a hobby.
Yeah.
And then they get exposed to these games they didn't know about. And as soon as they think that it's something that someone would recommend it, that it's a great game, people are going to go nuts and buy it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Samurai Western.
Yeah, so Samurai Western, me and Jason did a PS2 Hidden Gems video, and I bought Samurai Western when it first came out. I bought the majority of my PlayStation games when they first came out. I paid full price for them when they came out.
Right.
But I was shocked that nobody knew about Samurai Western. Not that many people knew about it. Yeah, it's a hidden gem, but I thought more people knew about it because it was part of the Way of the Samurai series. And when I talked about that game, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was going to say, mention that this is an example that I also saw myself, because before this was a thing, he was like, Nick, you should get this game. This is an awesome game.
That's a funny story.
I never got it, right? So I never got it. And in hindsight, after everything happened, he was like, hey, look at this. Look at the price on this game. So we'll get into that. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get into that because I got a funny story about that too. But Samurai Western, the first game, I think it was the first game I talked about, an Atlas title. Atlas is the one that published it, and a lot of people go crazy over Atlas type stuff. People were trying to charge like $200 for it online after I talked about it. Now, a lot of the cheap copies got sold already, but they were resurfacing at higher prices. And some people were buying them at those prices. And I'm like, golly, guys, I know you want this stuff now, but don't give in to those prices, man. That's way too much. I mean, anything over the original price, for me, is a tough sell. You know what I mean? I can't. I know people want the games, but there's other ways to play those games. And, I know that as a YouTuber, I bring awareness to these games and they become sought after, but we are not trying to raise the prices and have you have people pay over that price for them. We don't get no profit from you paying those prices.
There's nothing no one's to gain from
nothing to gain from it. So it's like, I feel bad, but then people are the ones that are buying them at those prices. I mean, some people are probably ballers. They got the money to drop like that money. They don't care.
Well,
but still,
and people enable it is the thing.
They do. And it's like we as a YouTuber, I am not trying to raise prices of games. I am not trying to have the whole thing with buying games is, man, you want to pay cheap usually,
Right. Everyone's trying to get a deal.
We are trying to get deals, man, but nobody is coming up on overflating prices. At least I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm shit. I would never pay the prices that people pay for Samurai Western. I'm just really shocked at it, But what I'm trying to say, guys, I know as a YouTuber, I bring awareness to the whole thing, you know what I mean, to games, but we do not benefit on prices being raised or anything like that, or higher or whatever. So,
and it's not something that we typically like to see neither.
Hell no. I would never pay those prices that people are asking for some of those games. But another point I want to bring to you guys is that even though the prices become inflated after sometimes we talk about games, they eventually go back down. When the hype is gone, prices come back down, whatever like that. But it only happens mostly with retro type games. When we talk about newer games that are hidden gems, everybody has access to them because they go to GameStop, Best Buy, wherever they want to buy games easy. They don't have to worry about it. But retro is a niche I mean, retro is a pretty niche. I mean, there's nobody really selling these games anymore in retail stores.
Oh,
so
no.
You have to go off secondhand sellers, and that's the way it is unless you know about these games. But by doing Hidden Gems videos and just games and talking about games in general, I'm trying to bring awareness to you guys about games you might want. Now, even though sometimes a price somebody might try to raise the price for them, there are other ways for you to play these games. There's emulators and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with emulators.
I mean, there's certain games that, like Castlevania Dracula X, I'm never going to buy that copy of the game. Sure, I'll play it on an emulator, I'll buy a repro. Yeah. But, I mean, other than that, there's no reason for me to go and spend the amount of money on it. It's just not worth it. And I'm not going to humor someone's just crazy price on it.
Yeah, man. Here's the thing, too, man. I noticed that, and I did a talk with some people, it was in the Vita group on Facebook, and these members were telling me that they were buying games because they want their collection to be worth money.
Right.
And I'm like, that's the only reason you want these games? Because you want it to be worth money? And they were like, looking at me like, yeah, that's right. And I'm like...
I mean, I just think that's the wrong reason to be into this, and that self-centered satisfaction just... Yeah, it doesn't roll right with me, and you can tell people like that. You can see it right through them half the time.
It's weird, man. A lot of people buy games, or they want games to be expensive or whatever because they want to have something to stick their chest out or brag about. Like, look, I got this rare game, and I got this little Samsung. Look at me. And then you ask them, hey, how do you like the game? Oh, never played it.
Right. It's just a bad mentality, and it's not doing anything for them. It's not filling some hole they're trying to fill.
No, it's not. It's weird, man.
And I've sadly met more and more people like that, and that's always a bummer.
Yeah, it's funny.
And I feel bad for them, mainly, because they're doing things the wrong way.
Yeah, going into it like that. As far as me with my collection, I have a lot of games, maybe 2,000 games or something like that, or more, because that was back in 2000. Well, when we did me and Jason did the video in here to pick up the game room tour. But, I am not trying to cash in on it or anything like that. These games have zero value to me because they are my games, and I don't plan on selling them or anything like that. I'm not trying to make a big profit off them.
I just have a strict thing where I really only want to buy what I actually intend to play. Right. I just don't see any use of having something sit on my shelf to just have it go, hey, look at this. When it's like people come over and they go to my house and they're like, oh man, your stack is so sick. This is awesome. And sure, everyone loves that feeling of being like, oh, that's cool, right? Right. But if it was just that, that's so disingenuous. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to have, I just, all it's going to do is sit on a shelf.
Yeah, and, and it's cool to go, if you have a lot of games, it's cool to go through them. If you're not playing something at the time or haven't played it in years, you might want to go ahead and sell it. There's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? I go through here and there, and I weed out some games wow, I haven't played this in years. I don't plan on playing it. I'm gonna trade it or sell it or whatever.
Right. And when you're out in the wild and you find stuff, even if you don't play it, but it's gonna go through something that you really want, it's great for a trade-in, right? Yeah. That's the mentality.
To get another game you possibly will play, you know what I mean? But I just kind of, I know this has been talked about before and everything. That's why I never really touched bases on it. But as a retro gaming channel and just a YouTuber in general, I want to kind of spread the knowledge on what I know about certain games that I think you guys would like. So, for those, I won't say haters. There's some people out there just hate anyway.
Always.
But
got something to say.
But I'm just trying to bring awareness of great games, and I'm very selective of the games I have in my collection. And I want all of you to be able to experience these games because I've been able, ever since even when I went to the import route, man, I've been discovering games that are amazing. And I want you guys to know about these games too, and that's why I like doing this. So, like I said, as a YouTuber, don't benefit off prices being raised on games because that's stupid. I'm like, man, I wouldn't buy it for that price. But I'm also aware that that because of the videos I do, it brings awareness to the game, and some people might take advantage of that.
Yeah, it's just bad that it promotes people to go, hey, I'm gonna go jack this up later and see if someone buys it.
Yeah, it's up to them what they jack it up to, but when they scalp it to a scalping price, and say like I said, Samurai Western, $200, it was a $30 game all day, and maybe I can understand maybe
and
45.
Precisely, it was $25 where
Ryan had it. Yeah, it was funny. I was telling Nick a couple years ago that he needed to pick this game up. Man, Nick did not pay attention to what I said. He just wasn't all about it. And then the funny thing is, what he bought instead? He bought Death of Superman for Super Nintendo instead. And I'm like, dude. And when you played that game that day, man, when we came back here, I remember you played it. You were like, you didn't say anything, but you're like, it was terrible.
It was a silent, not gonna
Superman
happen.
beating up junkies on the street, man. Like, how are they gonna stand up to Superman? And they can take some hits too, which is that game is so messed up.
It's a terrible game.
It's uncommon, honestly. But it's definitely not something that. I mean, Nick was on the Super Nintendo hype. A lot of people were. And I mean, seriously, a lot of people were all after the Super Nintendo stuff. So I understood it. And to get it uncommon, do you still own it?
Hell no.
Okay.
I traded it in maybe a week or so later, but. And I mean, it wasn't like I paid a bunch for it. I had a bunch of trade-ins and stuff that I got rid of for it. So it wasn't like, again, it wasn't me shelling out money for an overpriced game. So that's another lesson right there. At least I didn't have to take that financial burden of finding out the game wasn't very good.
There you go.
But it still kind of sucks. But the whole point of why we even got this video in the first place was, Mick, remember about Samurai Western? Brought up to me and showed me the price of it.
Today,
and that was kind of the reason why we did this video.
As of this video, I seen Samurai Western has gone down from the price I saw. So it goes around $70-$80, but still, you know what I mean? It's an uncommon game, and I understand that price, but still $200. That was insane. So
that's just
yeah. I wish you would have really liked that game, dude. It's so much fun.
I mean, you did show it to me. We did play it, and you go, look at what you're missing. You like what you're missing?
That was pretty funny, man. But what was I going to get into with the rest of this? So, like I said, guys, when prices, don't be eager to buy a game, even though when we do a video on it, if the price is not right, just wait a little bit. You could run into it another time at a better price. You know what I mean? Don't feel like you have to pay that amount of money for a game, or whatever. I mean, it really depends on what kind of spender you are too, man. Like if you're a baller, I guess you don't really care if you toss money at whatever price is you see. But still, most of us want to save money on games because they should be cheap. You know what I mean? Nobody's looking for them anymore. At least, I mean, retro is a niche we're a niche group, man. So
it is, but at the same time, it's like bigger than you think, right?
It is. But a lot of people, I'm not gonna say it. Well. A lot of us are cheapskates, man. I mean, if I see somebody like if you were selling a game, I would buy it off you, no problem, man. But a lot of people are like just I don't know, like just overly cheap. You know what I mean? Like kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're just they don't know how to haggle, and they're just really weird and rude. And
or they just demand.
I'm going off topic, but I just I just want to say that
that's like the worst thing you can do is just go, I'm getting it for this and nothing less, and.
Yeah.
It doesn't really work at the time.
I guess that's all I have for you guys today. Nick, do you want to close on anything? Because that's all I wanted to bring up.
I guess it was we just really wanted to bring this to your attention. And, I think some people get into this hobby for some of the wrong reasons.
Just to, impress other people?
Like, me and Reggie, when we became friends, I was just starting to collecting, and it really had nothing to do with that. We just had games that we both liked, and we talk about it.
Yeah, simple as that. He got me into the Metroid series.
So, I mean, it was never based on, oh, you're buying this? Oh, that's pretty sweet. Let me see what you got. It had nothing to really do with that whatsoever.
Right.
I thrive off trying to be as genuine as possible about what I do and why I like it.
There you go. All right. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, let me know in the comments what you think about this video. I mean, what about this whole topic with YouTubers raising prices?
We'll be reading.
Yeah, we'll be checking them out. But anyways, guys, Radical Reggie and Nelly, we're out of here.